Hello traders and welcome back to New World FX. As many of you would have seen on my Instagram page, last week's video was not recorded. For simple reasons, I was unavailable to make a video and upload to it, so apologies for that. Quite quickly, I'm going to go through it now. There was little information to be shared, but we'll go through it all the same just to show everyone the trades that were taken. So very simply, at the start of the week, I was enticed on Monday to make two trades that, how I perceived the market, looked to be following momentum or following the shift in momentum. And unfortunately, they did not go in my favor. As you can see, lost 2% on Monday. Nothing to really worry about. Trades taken, trades missed. They followed the plan, followed the structure. How I saw it, I was wrong. Simple as. Tuesday trades, I perceived slightly differently. While I hit targets, I did not make the full target that I was looking for. As you would have seen in week's two videos, we had the option to make multiple trades while sloping based on our plan, stacking trades essentially. So I decided, based on feedback that I received in DMs, to try it out, that there was multiple gains to be used. And for full disclosure, for the first couple of weeks, I wanted to show off how trading differently to how you plan can have serious implications. So on Tuesday, followed the structure, followed retest, multiple tests into this yellow area. So I jumped on trade, took a short, and as you see, that 5% would have been was hit. That target was closed out fully, 5% in the bank. Before I hit that target, I had reversed up multiple trades taken. I was looking at taking this trade. I don't think I actually took this trade if I remember correctly. I didn't see it at the time, but I marked that as a potential. Came down, and another option. So I did take the third one. I'll actually just get rid of this for now. So the lower trade here, multiple retest. I jumped on the back of that, set a new target. I stuck with my 12 pip stop loss and 60 pip target to see how that would work out. Because anyone that would have seen the video in week two, if I jumped on the the stacking of trades and taking the second position, I would have hit target 10% in the bank straight away. So just to show people how things can go against you if they are not planned accordingly. I jumped on this trade um, and took it, and before hit target, pull back, hit stop loss. And if I'd kept any of these trades open, it would have come back and hit stop loss here as well. Thankfully, that didn't happen. So what I made profit on this one, I lost section of profit in the second trade. Unfortunate, but these things happen. Okay. So later on in the video, I'll detail how I implement this strategy further and how I adjust my plan, as detailed in my last Instagram post. Stay tuned for that. So later on in the week, saw another opportunity. Unfortunately, I didn't take this one. I was not at the charts that time, but it would have been another stop loss if I had. Would have played out very well. Would have gone up to 4.5% target and didn't pull back. So another great trade. Uh, Worked out as per our plan, but unfortunately didn't make the full target. So we'll be implementing that information later on as well. Ended the week off with another loss, unfortunately. We broke structure, retested multiple times. Unfortunately, didn't have the momentum to keep going, and we came back. Very choppy Friday, to be honest. Very little movement, very quick, very quick, choppy movement on the charts that day. So, unfortunately, another loss taken. Now, new week, new entries, my new plan. So, as detailed earlier, stacking of trades. How do we introduce that to potentially get more gain from the trades while also not taking as many losses? Because anyone that would be following my trading history, seeing that I've taken multiple losses, some of which are trades that have played out fairly well to begin with, but then over the course of, say, a night or some fundamental news, would have seen big pullback and taken a loss after what looked like a very good trade. Similar to the last trade here on Thursday evening, 4.5%, 4.5 percent in profit, nearly hit the 5% target, but unfortunately got a pullback, his stop loss. So what could be done here to either take profits off the table, reduce the risk in this trade, different things like that, to reduce the losses that we've taken over the last 3 weeks and hopefully build back up the account to break even. So to do that, I've changed my plan. Now, before I break down why I enter these trades, you'll see trades here are in groups of threes. Now, what is the reason for this? First of all, sticking to 12 pip stop loss. That's setting in stone for me. That's the max I'm risking to take. Anything over that, per my plan, has always gone, or per my back testing, has always hit bigger losses. So that's the max I would willing to the risk. But how do we update the trading plan so that I'm not risking 3% all the time? Because at this current moment in time, I'm either hit stop loss or take profit. And there's no in between, no partials, no moving of stop loss, no break-even strategy. Keep it nice and simple. But that isn't working out, as you can see. So what I've done, first trade has a target at 25 pips. Now that's only 2% in your account. Well, that 2% is great. Fair play for getting it. That means if I stick to a 2% target the whole time, that means I need a 3% target rate, or TP target, to be profitable at any one time, or just to be break even. Actually, sorry. So the reason for this 1-2 trade is to take the risk off the table. So if I enter once I enter this trade here, hit TP here, I still have 2 trades active, 2% taken off the table, 2% left on table. So I'm essentially a break-even trade. This trade kept going, had some pullback, but kept continuing on with the momentum I foresaw. Hit my 5% target. I'm now 7% up after risking 2% here. Now at this point, I don't want to risk losing anymore, so I adjust the stop loss of trade 3 to the TP target for trade 1. So the minimum I'm going to lose here is 7%. Now, there's always options. I'm still going to have options later on to adjust my stop loss on this trade. And to be honest, my TP is open as well. So target here is where I close, as I'll detail later on. But this could have continued on the way down here without me noticing. Would have been a great trade. So as you see later on in this chart, this position, if I had not adjusted stop loss at all in any way, shape, or form, this would have come way down and actually ended up, I believe, down here at a 117 trade. Now, that's not saying that every trade is going to make 17% for you. That was a great trade, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen. But with my lifestyle, I can't watch the charts the whole time. That's not what we want to do in the future when I go full time at this. You want to be able to just open a trade, leave a run, and check it maybe 5 minutes every now and again to see how it's getting on. You don't want to be watching the trades the whole time. So that's where this updated plan is running. So let's say in the morning, I open these trades, I see it, I check the charts in a couple of hours, 2 targets have been hit, brilliant, adjust stop loss to TP target 2, but don't have time to look at first today, brilliant. It's going to shoot away down, and it would have ended up down here by the end of the day when I would have gone home from work. That would have been a 1-10 or so trade, if I remember correctly. 1-8. 1-8 trade by the end of the day, if I hadn't adjusted stop losses. Okay, so that's where my trading pattern is going in the future. Now, question is, how will that work out? So the first trade of the week, unfortunately, his stop loss, I was enticed in. The targets here were based purely on previous price action, higher time frame analysis, but kept going. So that was actually a 3% loss. There was 3 trades open, same as here. 3% gone. No more trades for us today. Waited for the following morning. looked at the trades before heading off to work, saw this opportunity, saw this price action, uh, a bare lower formation farming, but and barely breaking the previous highs. So this kind of lines up with what Astro would have thought previously, and I believe Marco mentioned it in his webinar on Thursday. 3 drives to the high and didn't break. Now that, but not everything here is what Astro would have thought. This is a plan I would have purely put together myself. Astro don't give you a trading plan and say it's purely for you to develop, which is great. They don't tell you to trade in a certain way. So it's purely your lifestyle, your choices, how much time you have available to put into this. So as per their teachings, this is a trading plan I put together. But yeah, carrying on, this trade worked out very well. I adjusted stops as it went down. I saw this trade when it was down here, making new lows. I said to myself, right, it's at making new lows, where is it going to retest next? And I put stops roughly here, I believe. So actually came back, tapped stop loss during the day, and then drove on. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not. Took stop, hit my adjusted stop loss, took profits off the table, closed out this trade fully. I closed with roughly 4, 5 to 11% in profit in one trade. That's a higher target to what I would have been looking for previously, my 1-5 trade, but I haven't taken anything extra or put any extra risk on the table. I'm staying within, everything here was closed within the 60 pip target that I was looking for initially. I could have closed out further. There's nothing stopping me from closing trade when I saw it hit 1.7 or 1.8 or 1.9. I'm going to look at this further and maybe set targets for TP3 later on. The main point is to adjust the stop loss to TP1. That way you have a minimum of 1-7 banked once TP1, TP2 are taken. Okay. So later on today, I was actually enticed to go long again, purely based off previous price action. See multiple retests into this area before going high, retesting here, going high, retesting here again, and unfortunately got stopped out. Tried again early the following morning, and stupidly, this is probably one of the stupidest trades I've ever made. There was no big reason to go long. Higher time frames were looked at going long, but with this week here, to be honest, I shouldn't have taken this long. It had already broken structure, come back. I was doing a retest, but look, I didn't see that at the time. I didn't analyze it that way. Losses were taken, so 3% last here, 3% last here. What can you do? Reanalyze, saw the breaker structure, very clear breaker structure with this big wick down, and retesting these highs. So went short here again, 1, 2, 3, TP1 taken, risk off table, TP2 taken, stops, move to TP2, carried on down, and had my stops pinged for this area as it was marked out here. So that trade actually closed out at 12%. Brilliant, another 12% trade. Left that alone for the rest of the day. Came back the following day on Thursday, entered again. So what we would have seen as a previous resistance support area was used as the next entry. Now, if I just zoom in on this trade here, you will see something unfortunate. So while the trade worked out well, my entry point was not very successful. By the time I had taken this trade, it jumped up and jumped down again, unfortunately. So entry doesn't look good. Stops are in a dangerous place. It could have very easily come back up and retested this area. Thankfully, it didn't. Continued on. This is something you have to be aware of when you're not setting limits or orders. I did pure market execution at the time that I saw it. So came down 2%, great, moved up with a retest. So this is why I don't adjust entries at this point. So I taken 2%, still risking 2%. If you had moved stop loss to break even, you could have been taken out here with spread on this trade, which would have been unfortunate because we later came down and hit our 5% target. I actually had this trade running right into Friday afternoon. So I could have taken this trade out Monday morning, say when I first get into work around 8 a.m. Could have taken this out as a 1:7 again, I believe, 1:7. But I left it opened, came back, hit break even, and took me out as another 1:11, I believe. So while the target or the number of trades taken is a bit higher, we are not risking a lot extra. So per the 3 targets, my risk is quite low. Thanks be to God. So yeah, 3 trades taken, or 6 trades taken essentially. 3 trades run, 1. I lost 9% on these 3 trades. I won about 30%, I believe. So roughly 9 here, 11 here, 9 here, I believe. So all in all, up about 20%. If we switch over to my FX book, check out all the stats. So you can see our equity scale for this week. Sorry. So my trades were a lot higher. If I closed them out at the highest point, my account would have been higher, but obviously no one knows when trades are going to, or when the chart is going to reverse, or the exact retest area, or the exact support resistance lines. Is purely down to your own personal analysis. Now, maybe people more experienced would have done better or would have closed out better, and maybe in the future plan we would close at 1:7 or 1:8 and hit more targets and close out more trades in profit, or higher profit, I should say. And this chart will look better over time. Obviously, your plan will never be perfect. You'll never hit all your targets 100% of the time. Hence why we're only training at this time or learning. But yeah, all in all, a fantastic week. So this week we actually closed out at 26%, and so far for the month of April we are up 24%. The account in general is up 18.67%, a slight difference to what I showed on Instagram earlier today. The main reason for that is if I scroll down to history, my FX book hadn't actually logged this last trade yet. It hadn't updated. So once that target was added to the chart, the overall target was updated, or the overall profits updated, I suppose. For anyone that wants to verify the work that I'm carrying out or the trades I'm taking, I want to see what I am doing on a daily basis. I have made my FX book public. Link is in my Instagram page at New World FXC. You can also see my YouTube channel there, where you can actually share the videos with anyone that is interested. So yeah, that's the last 2 weeks of trading. 3 weeks of, I'm going to say, first week was poor, second week was good, third week poorish, fourth week exceptional. Now, will this carry on? Hopefully, there's no guarantee. First rule of protocol for next week is hopefully do not give back any of these profits to the market. If we are very profitable 1 week but then losing trades the following week, then that won't look very good. It will affect our mentality, our psychological activities, and obviously we want to keep all the profits that we worked hard to get. So goal next week, there's no actual percentage goal. Look for trades, wait for them to meet my entry criteria, and hopefully make profit in the end of it. That's the end goal, profit. And I'll be adjusting my stop loss as well. So now that I'm in profit and move up, I can adjust stop loss to keep the same risk. So currently running at 0.5 lots. We will change to 0.55 to keep the 1% risk per trade. And hopefully the account will grow in the same rate. So that's it for me. Any questions, comment below or send me a message on Instagram. All details will be shared. Good luck to all. Bye now.